You wake up in the morning, head to the kitchen cabinet, and stare at that shelf packed with bottles, boxes, and jars of supplements. Vitamin D, omega-3, B complex, calcium, magnesium, collagen. You're spending a fortune every month on these capsules, believing you're doing the best for your health, protecting yourself, preventing diseases. But then you go to the doctor, repeat your tests, and discover your fatty liver hasn't improved, your liver enzymes are still high, the fatigue persists, and the bloating in your belly is getting worse. And you wonder, confused, frustrated, why isn't any of this working? Why, even taking everything diligently, every single day without fail, isn't your health getting better as you'd hoped? The truth is, you might be doing everything wrong, and nobody ever told you. You might be taking supplements in a way that not only doesn't help your liver, but could actually be making things worse, further burdening an organ that's already fighting to survive. And the worst part is, this happens to thousands of people every day. People like you, who are doing the best they can but have been misled by incomplete information, by salespeople just looking to make a profit, by professionals who don't truly understand how the liver functions when it's sick. I need to tell you something that will completely change how you view supplements, especially if you have fatty liver. There's a study recently published in the Journal of Hepatology that showed something absolutely shocking. Individuals with hepatic steatosis who took more than 3 supplements daily had a 47% higher probability of developing severe liver damage compared to those who took no supplements or only 1. You heard that right. What you think is protecting you might be silently, progressively, irreversibly harming you. And I'm not talking about cheap, sketchy supplements bought on any corner. I'm talking about well-known brands, products your neighbor takes, that your friend recommended, that you saw online being sold by influencers. The problem isn't necessarily the supplement itself, but how it interacts with a liver that's already inflamed, full of fat, struggling to metabolize everything that comes its way. I'm a physician specializing in liver diseases, and every day I see patients who arrive at my office carrying bags full of supplements, proudly showing me everything they're taking, expecting me to praise them, to tell them they're on the right track. And I have to, very carefully, very respectfully, explain that they are in fact poisoning their own bodies, overloading their livers in ways they can't even imagine. Because the liver is responsible for metabolizing everything that enters your system, including every vitamin, every mineral, every capsule of fish oil you swallow, thinking you're doing yourself a favor. And when that liver is already infiltrated with fat, when it's already inflamed, when the liver cells are already suffering, every additional supplement becomes an extra burden, a load it can't process properly. Now, before I continue, I need to tell you something very important. If you've made it this far, it's because you genuinely care about your health, because you don't just want to live longer, but live with quality, with energy, without the fear that your body is betraying you from the inside. And I created this channel precisely for people like you, people who want real information based on science, not on marketing, from companies that want to sell the most expensive product possible. Every week, I bring you updated research, protocols that actually work, things you won't hear in a 15-minute doctor's appointment where the professional barely has time to look at you. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I'm going to guide you on this journey of liver recovery in an honest, clear, no-nonsense way. You're not alone in this, and together we'll reverse this situation without throwing money away on things that don't work or might even make your situation worse. Now, let me tell you about a patient of mine. I'll call him Robert, a 68-year-old retiree, father of 3, grandfather of 5. Robert first came to my office 2 years ago, bringing a suitcase, literally a small suitcase, full of supplements. He had grade 2 fatty liver, ALT at 89, AST at 76, and was convinced the solution was to take more vitamins, more minerals, more antioxidants. He showed me everything he was taking: very high-dose vitamin D, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, copper, magnesium, calcium, omega-3, CoQ10, resveratrol, turmeric, milk thistle. It was 18 different supplements every day at different times, following a spreadsheet he'd created himself. Robert was spending over $200 a month on this, and when I asked to see his exams from the past 2 years, I discovered the situation had progressively worsened. His fatty liver had increased, his enzymes had climbed, he had developed insulin resistance, and the elastography showed early signs of fibrosis. I looked at him and asked, "Robert, who told you to take all of this?" And he told me he'd researched it online, followed advice from friends, and watched videos of people raving about these supplements. Nobody, at any point, had explained to him that a sick liver doesn't process supplements the same way a healthy liver does. Do you want to know what happened when I asked Robert to stop all these supplements and follow a specific, controlled, individualized protocol? But before I reveal that, I need to explain what happens inside your liver when you take supplements without proper guidance, because this knowledge will completely change how you take care of your health from now on. When you swallow a pill from any supplement bottle, it travels down your esophagus, into your stomach, gets absorbed in your intestines, and heads straight to your liver through the portal vein. Your liver is like a high-tech processing plant tasked with filtering, transforming, and deciding what to do with every substance that arrives. In a healthy liver, this happens efficiently and without a hitch. But in a fatty liver, the liver cells, the hepatocytes, are already struggling, inflamed, and working overtime. When you throw multiple supplements into the mix all at once, you're forcing these already compromised cells to work even harder, to churn out more enzymes, to expend more energy, and to generate more free radicals in the process of metabolizing everything. And here's the crucial point nobody tells you. Some supplements, especially in high doses, need to be processed through the same metabolic pathways your liver uses to detoxify other substances. When you overload these pathways, you create a metabolic traffic jam, a situation where your liver simply can't keep up and it starts to accumulate even more toxins, more intermediate breakdown products, and more inflammation. Now, I need to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with me, because your answer could help thousands of people watching this video right now. How many supplements are you currently taking without individualized medical advice? 2, 3, 5, 10? And when you started taking all these supplements, did anyone explain how they interact with each other, how they specifically affect a fatty liver, or what the signs are that you're overwhelming your system? I get it. You're trying to do your best. You're spending money you might not even have to spare. You're following advice from people who seem to know what they're talking about. But deep down, you feel like something isn't quite right, that you should be feeling better, that all this effort should be yielding different results. So I want you to comment below. Feel free to use these exact words if you like. I take supplements for fatty liver and see no improvement. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel judged. This is a safe space. And when you comment, you're showing others that they aren't alone, that this confusion is real, and that this problem is more common than you might imagine. Comment now, because I read every single comment, and your experience could save someone from making the same mistakes you're making. Let me tell you now about Maria, a 62-year-old retired teacher who had a different story than Roberto. Maria had grade 3 fatty liver, prediabetes, and very elevated liver enzymes, AST at 112 and ALT at 98. But unlike Roberto, she wasn't taking any supplements. She was scared. She'd heard supplements could be harmful, so she simply wasn't taking anything beyond the medications her cardiologist prescribed. When I examined Maria, I saw she had severe nutritional deficiencies. Her vitamin D was 18, she was osteopenic, she had mild iron deficiency anemia, and her serum magnesium was at the low end of the range. Maria had the opposite problem. She needed supplementation, but with extreme caution, specific dosages, and rigorous monitoring. I prescribed just 3 supplements for her: vitamin D at a moderate dose, chelated iron every other day, and magnesium in a specific form that's better absorbed and less harsh on the liver. And here's the fundamental difference. I didn't give her megadoses. I didn't mix 15 different things. I didn't follow any generic internet protocol. I completely personalized it based on her lab results, her liver's condition, and her metabolic capacity at that moment. Now let me reveal what happened with Roberto when he stopped his 18 supplements and started following my protocol. I initially kept only 2 supplements for him, vitamin D at a physiological dose, because his labs showed a real deficiency, and a high-quality purified omega-3 in a moderate dose, because there's solid evidence that omega-3 fatty acids can help reduce liver fat when used correctly. But the big change was focusing on nutrition through real food, not through capsules. Vegetables rich in natural antioxidants, quality protein, healthy fats, and controlled portions of complex carbohydrates. In 3 months, Roberto's results were impressive. His AST dropped to 54, ALT to 48. His ultrasound showed a significant reduction in liver fat, and he was feeling better than he had in years. He saved nearly $1,000 a month, and his liver, for the first time in a long time, had the chance to heal, to regenerate, to get back to functioning as it should. And here's the protocol I use with my patients who have fatty liver and want to know exactly how to approach supplements intelligently and safely. First, you need to get comprehensive lab tests to identify actual deficiencies, not supposed ones. Vitamin D, B vitamins, especially B12, and folic acid, iron, zinc, magnesium, selenium. There's no point in supplementing something you don't need because you'll just overload your liver without any benefit. Second, when a deficiency is identified, you supplement that specific nutrient in an adequate dose, not a megadose. A sick liver doesn't benefit from massive doses of anything. It needs physiological amounts, those the body can actually use. Third, you avoid hepatotoxic supplements, even if they are natural. There's a huge list of herbs, extracts, and compounds that can cause liver damage, especially in those with an already compromised liver. Things like kava kava, comfrey, some forms of concentrated green tea extract, germander, and many others. Fourth, you space out your supplements throughout the day. Never take them all at once, because this creates a spike in workload for the liver that it may not be able to handle. Fifth, you constantly reevaluate through testing, because what works at one point might not be necessary later, and continuing to take something you no longer need is a waste of money and an unnecessary risk to your liver. A common question my patients have is about vitamin E, because they read it's good for fatty liver, that there are studies showing benefits. And indeed, these studies exist, mainly using doses of 800 IU per day in patients with biopsy-proven non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. But here's the catch. High-dose vitamin E can increase bleeding risk, interfere with other medications, and should only be used under strict medical guidance with frequent monitoring. It's not something you just grab off the shelf at your local pharmacy and start taking on your own because you saw it online. Another frequent question is about silymarin, milk thistle extract, which is marketed as a liver protector. Scientific evidence on silymarin is conflicting. Some studies show minor benefits, others show nothing. And the problem is that low-quality silymarin, which is what you'll find in most drugstores, lacks proper standardization, can be contaminated, and may have incorrect dosages. If you're going to use silymarin, opt for a pharmaceutically proven quality product at the correct dose, and always with your doctor's supervision. Let me tell you about Fernanda, a 55-year-old patient who worked as a sales manager. She traveled a lot, had a stressful and irregular routine. Fernanda discovered grade 2 fatty liver during a routine checkup. She was devastated and started buying every supplement that promised to cleanse the liver, detoxify, and burn fat. She spent a fortune on detox shakes, concentrated green tea capsules, and weight loss formulas marketed as natural and safe. 6 months later, Fernanda went back to her doctor because she was feeling awful, tired, frequent nausea, and her lab tests showed her liver enzymes had skyrocketed. ALT was a 156, AST was 134, with signs of acute liver inflammation. When I investigated, I discovered one of the supplements she was taking, a fat burner marketed as completely natural, contained an extremely high dose of green tea extract. There have been numerous reports in medical literature of severe liver injury caused by this type of product. Fernanda had to stop everything immediately, undergo supportive treatment, and it took months for her liver to recover. And the saddest part is, she was trying to do the right thing, following advice from influencers with no medical background, believing promises that were too good to be true. The truth nobody wants to tell you is that the supplement market is a multi-billion-dollar industry that isn't regulated like pharmaceuticals. You can buy almost anything, with any claim on the packaging, without anyone truly testing if it works or if it's safe. And people with fatty liver are a perfect target for these companies because they're desperate, scared, and willing to try anything that promises a quick and easy fix. But the solution isn't in miracle capsules. The solution lies in understanding how your liver works, respecting its current limitations, and giving it exactly what it needs, no more, no less. Here's the rundown on what you need to know about supplements and fatty liver. First, less is more. The fewer supplements you take, the better for your liver, provided you're meeting your nutritional needs through a quality diet. Second, only supplement proven deficiencies, confirmed by lab tests, never based on assumptions or fads. Third, avoid mega doses of anything, because a compromised liver can't process high doses well. Fourth, be skeptical of miracle natural products, because natural doesn't mean safe, and many herbs can cause severe liver damage. Fifth, monitor with regular checkups to see if supplementation is actually helping or causing problems. Sixth, always prioritize real food over supplements, because the food matrix, the way nutrients naturally occur in foods, is infinitely superior to isolated forms in capsules. Seventh, be patient and understand that reversing fatty liver is a process that takes months, sometimes years, and there's no magic pill shortcut. If you have fatty liver and are taking supplements, thinking you're doing the best for your health, please give this video a thumbs up because this information needs to reach more people. Thousands are making the same mistakes every day, spending money they don't have, overloading their livers in ways they can't imagine, believing empty promises from an industry that only wants to profit. Share this video with someone you love, someone you know who's taking multiple supplements without guidance, because you might literally be saving that person's liver. And comment below if you've tried to reverse fatty liver by taking a bunch of supplements and haven't succeeded, because I want to know how many people are going through this, how many are being misled by false information spread online. In the next video, I'll show you the exact dietary protocol I use with my patients to reverse fatty liver without needing dozens of supplements, using only real food and simple, accessible strategies that anyone can implement in real life, even with a busy schedule, even without a lot of money, even if they don't know how to cook. You'll discover which foods truly heal the liver, which ones you need to avoid completely, and how to build a plate that provides all the nutrients you need without overwhelming the most important organ in your metabolism. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out, because this next video could be the turning point in your recovery journey. Until then, take care of your liver with wisdom, with science, with respect for the incredible work it does every day to keep you alive, even when you don't realize it.